3 months ago, I experienced my Minecraft YouTuber midlife crisis. So I flew out 100,000 blocks from spawn, threw everything away, and traded in my netherite armor for leather armor with Curse of Binding. I ended up settling down in this village, where I've spent the last 400 in-game days planting fields, making friends, and even building whatever the heck this thing is. But today, we take on the biggest challenge yet: finishing the rest of this base. Welcome to Building Interiors Because They Scare Me. After the last video, we were pretty much just left with one big hollow tube inside of this base, so I took the liberty in between episodes to install these makeshift floors out of dirt. All this really does is break things up a bit so I can actually work on this one room at a time, starting right here in the pet house where I plan to build a portal room. Right now, my portal is all the way down in this cave, and it's currently a 1 minute and 26-second journey just to get to the nether, and that's not going to cut it. Now, firstly, I'm going to need obsidian for making the portal. I'm also going to need some blocks here from the nether. Hopefully I can find them all by just digging in a straight line up here. I would much prefer that than having to actually go down there and do something. Ah, yes, there we go. I need some basalt, which is good. There's a bunch right here. Oh, and look at that. We found some blackstone. Let's go, baby. This is actually going so smoothly. Oh, it's so dangerous, though. Okay. I need to be careful. It's kind of weird to think that literally inside of this hardcore world, I have the farms for blackstone and basalt and a lot of these materials that I'm grinding by hand right now. I don't know, man. I'm kind of starting to miss my old base. So let me know. Should I go back there soon? What do you think? Now, I also need to get some glowstone while I'm in here, and I think that should be all we need from this godforsaken place. The first thing I want to tackle is this floor, because obviously I can't leave it as dirt. That would be ridiculous. I'm thinking something more like spruce planks will be good. Now, the room might look decently sized right now, but I promise it's going to be pretty small because I don't want to have these weird, ugly outside walls on the inside, so I have to make things like double thick. So whereas normally I would like to put blocks here, here, and here, I have to actually put them here, here, and here. I think using different colored terracotta blocks are really going to come in handy in building these interiors, but since I don't have access to a mesa out here, it does mean that I have to go scrambling for clay in the rivers. While that terracotta smelts, I'll head back to the river and behead some local squids. Come here, boys. Now I'm thinking along these side walls here, we can go through and do some kind of a gradient. I think it'll work good. Boop, 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 beep, 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 beep. With the walls in place, I first went through adding in a backdrop and then outlined the portal in obsidian. Before continuing the build, I set off to the nearby jungle to grab some cocoa beans, boop, 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 as well as spent some time back at the nether tree farm grinding the crimson wood and the nether wart blocks. Also, once again, I flew through this hole and it was really cool. I also think that adding in a little pattern to the floor could really spice things up in here. Now, I have this idea, bear with me. Dude, this looks so sick. I love it. And now for the most important part, we have to make sure this portal actually works. First things first, we'll go ahead and note these coordinates. We will light this portal, divide those puppies by 8 to get the nether coordinates, and then find the new coordinates here in the nether. And now we pray. And just like that, the first room is complete. Next up is the bedroom, which is right down here. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a Disney princess, but in a bad way. Like I'm just locked away in this castle, so I need to blow down one of these walls. Maybe go in here with like some sort of a window. I guess this is probably the better way to add some life to this area. It's really important to me that all of these interior rooms connect together in a cool way. So before anything, I began installing a staircase. I realized at this point that I have deprived myself far too long of my favorite block in the game, which is stripped dark oak wood. So I went out on a journey to go find some saplings. I might have flown 8,000 blocks in one direction just to end up finding the forest about 100 blocks from my base, but you win some, you lose some. I decided to use a combination of the stripped dark oak and the stripped spruce for the main walls of my bedroom. There's something about it that is just very rustic and cozy. Okay, so we have our staircase, we have the walls. We'll go ahead and strip all of these. Now for the ceiling, I want to keep things pretty simple. We'll go through here with some more wooden beams for support. with some spruce slabs here in between. A couple lanterns here and there so I can actually see what's going on. And then some of these azalea leaves, just so it's like a little bit overgrown, but not too much. I'm looking for like tastefully overgrown. And after building myself a bed, oh wow, that's not gonna work. That is way too brown. You literally like can't even tell there's a bed there almost. By the time I'm done here, I'll be lucky if there's any clay left in these rivers. But that's okay, it's going to a pretty good cause if you ask me, because now I'm bringing in some red terracotta to the bedroom. Much like in real life, my Minecraft character likes to imagine they actually own and read books. So I went through and added in a bunch of bookshelves to the bedroom. This bedroom took me 2 hours to make. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I do quite like it though. I mean, all the details, so good, dude. Now next up in here, I want to be the storage room. I'm literally not going to show you any of this because honestly, that's very boring. But yeah, here it is. It's just a bunch of chests to store all my stuff. What I am excited for, however, is this area, which is going to be a museum. Now, I'm not much of a museum guy. I've been to a few of them in my time, so I kind of have somewhat of an idea what I want this to look like. Also, I've been doing some improvements here. I added more of this floor to the bedroom, and also, look at this. Ignore the flesh, and look at this. We have a drop down into the storage room. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but still, it's pretty cool. Just like when I built up the outside, I'm building up all of the inside without any planning. This makes the whole process just more fun and organic, but does mean that I'm regularly running out of materials because I have no idea the amounts of what I need. After building up the wall patterns, installing windows, and putting in a roof, the museum was pretty much done except for the part where it actually stores items. I also have this spiral staircase that leads up to an attic, I guess. I'm not sure what's going to go up here, so if you have any ideas, let me know. Now, as far as the design of like the actual exhibits, they're pretty simple. If you've ever played Stardew Valley, you'll probably recognize these. If you're not sure what I mean by this, basically I want the museum to be something that you can easily view from ground level. So after getting the floor in place, I went through installing the exhibits out of glass. Now there's 35 unique spots to store items in the museum. If only there was a way that I could perhaps go on an adventure and find 35 unique items perhaps. Just kidding, there is. It has been 166 days since trail ruins were added into Minecraft, and I have yet to explore one, which is honestly just embarrassing. But that changes today because I'm gonna go find one. Now I have no idea really where they are, but I think they can appear in jungles, so we're gonna start there. I really don't know what I was doing. I couldn't have picked a worse biome to go looking for this thing. It's so hard to see the surface in these jungles. They're so dense, man. Ooh, that's a pretty parrot. You know where anything suspicious might be? You seen anything happen around these parts? I wasn't having too much luck in the jungle, so I continued my searching efforts across a couple more biomes until finally, what is this? This is something. What is this? Where is the gravel that is suspicious? Oh my god, did we already get something good? Oh my god, we already got the new music disc. What the heck? I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I waited so long to loot a trail ruin is that I just don't really care about the loot inside. But I thought that with this museum, it would be a perfect opportunity to use those items and store them as if they actually have some value. Is this it? I think I made it to the end, you guys. I exposed this whole ancient civilization for everything it's worth. I don't know why I made that sound ominous. I'm sure there are great people who lived here once. Okay, Brock, you got the items. Now, how are you going to actually put them in the museum? So we could just go ahead and use like item frames like this, but come on, that's boring. I'm not going to do that. I have a much better idea. Instead, we can do this. Well, not exactly. So I had this armor stand data pack that allows you to do pretty cool things. For instance, we can give the stand arms, which might not seem like very much. However, that means it can hold items. Now, if we just do this and then nudge the position down a little bit. Huzzah! Look at this. It's like enclosed in the glass case. It's so cool. Also, if this bothers you, I don't really care. And And it's done. Look at this. Next up is the map room. Now, I think I have a design for this in mind, and it's pretty simple. It's basically a square. And this room is not a square. It is a shape that cannot be named. So let's fix that. Can somebody tell me why I keep using deep slate as a block to outline a build? It just makes no sense. I want to go back in time, I want to grab my melon head, and I want to squeeze the juice out of it. In terms of the map room design, I think we can all agree one of the main symbols we think of for a map room is a compass. So after filling in a backdrop out of white wool, I tried my hand at making one. As you can see, it did not go well. Low-key, I feel like it kind of works. At this point, it was getting pretty late, but I wanted to get a design in place before bed, so I returned back to my new favorite pattern for a couple of the walls. I had a ton of space to work with in the back, so I went through with some levers to not only power the redstone lamps, but also provide some easy lighting. I wanted to have a separate entrance hallway from the actual map room, so next up, I began adding in this archway with some stripped spruce, brown glazed terracotta, and birch trap doors, which I know is a weird combo, but I think it kind of works. I want the maps to be on the floor, so after having a heck of a time outlining the circle in the center, I installed a simple floor using dark oak planks. I'll be honest, I wasn't really sure what to use for the ceiling, so I ended up just making it out of light blue concrete, which it's kind of like a blue sky, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Next up, I want to finish this entrance room, starting with the floor, the walls, and finally the ceiling. We'll also install some cartography tables because maps, a trim around the bottom, and lanterns because light. As mentioned, I want there to be multiple different ways to walk between rooms inside of this base. So I'm thinking some sort of a spiral staircase right here that connects up to the outer staircase would be really cool. Now, I also want a way to connect the map room itself to the upper floors, but I'm having a hard time figuring out where to put the entrance. But I think I finally got it figured out. So we have this outside balcony thing, and if we dig down right here, we end up in this empty room. And now we just simply install a way up and down, connect that puppy up with a door, and boom, the map room is done, except for the maps. 45 maps. Okay, I lied. 44 maps. And there we go. The map room is complete. Look at how small we are. Working our way down the base, we now have to tackle this room. And I think I have the perfect thing to go in here. Doesn't this just like scream throne room to you? It does to me, so we're gonna build one here. Okay, we'll start with this backdrop. Now there is a window behind here, but I've decided we are not gonna use that window. It is a fake window. Now this wall, while it does look really good from the outside, doesn't look very good on the inside. So we have to do this thing where you go out like this and leave this gap in between. It's not really ideal because it makes the room feel so small, but that's all I can really do right now. And after doing that, we are left with this much room on either side of the throne room. Obviously, it's going to be symmetrical, so I'll do the same thing on this side. And we're left with this. Now, it's not big, but it's pretty cozy, and I think this is a perfect throne, okay? I would happily sit on this throne. Speaking of throne, let's build that now. Oh yeah, dude, that is so sick. I love that. Now for the floor, we'll keep it very simple with some good old-fashioned dark oak planks. I'm using these because I couldn't think of anything else. And now it's time to decorate. Now, it also happens to be the case that this room connects directly up to this pathway, which right now just goes up to the rest of the base, but I think an archway would be perfect right here. And I figured it would make sense to occupy the throne room with the three things that control my life more than anything. And no, I am not talking about salmon. I am talking about my cats. So I just have to go find 3 of them. I need to have an orange one and 2 gray ones. Village number 1, let's see what we have here. Nothing. There's nothing here. Village number 2, I see a cat. Oh my god, it's the right one too. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I couldn't possibly trust you any less to not commit self-harm, so we're going to bring you back in the throne room while I search for the others. Village number 3, village number 4, village number 5. You are my leader. There we go. And just one more. The elusive orange cat. They are so hard to find, and they lack brain cells severely. Village number 6, village number 7. Oh my god, there's a mangrove swamp right here. I've been looking for one of these for so long, dude. This is way cooler than the last cat. I'm just kidding. It's not that cool. No, I think this is the 8th village that I came across. I'm hoping this is the one. Oh my god, there's an orange cat right in front of me. I'm so freaking hyped, dude. It's like 4,000 blocks home, but I don't even care. I got my orange cat with me. What's up, buddy? We have Frank, we have Jethro, and last but not least, we have Holden, the little orange squirt that controls my life. He's also my editor, so be nice to him. Next up on the list of rooms to add that don't have any function but look cool, we're gonna build a cafe right in here. I was reading through the comments last episode, and a lot of you suggested this, and I feel like right here with this big open door, we could just have a perfect fly-in entrance. Firstly here, I wanna get some sort of a doorway installed. Now we can install some sort of a pillar, get rid of this dirt, and go in with some green terracotta. I think that's a good block for interiors. Now, because I designed this building with literally zero planning, I'm left with some weird shapes. So naturally, I'm left with this raised section that I'm going to turn into additional seating. You know the drill. We got our dark oak pillar action. We got our green concrete. I did have to go out to the desert to get some more cactus, so that's kind of cool, I guess. I also thought it would be fun to add an upper level of seating to this cafe. I don't know why, but I love when restaurants have this. I always want to sit there. Now we just need to add in a ceiling, some fences so people can't fall off the balcony, some trapdoors to cover up this stone, and finally some places to sit. But what's a cafe without some place to whip up a venti pumpkin spice latte? Not a sponsor. So over here in the back, I want to get working on a kitchen. Now, I only installed one brewing stand at the kitchen here. A, because that's all I had, but B, because there's only going to be one employee. All right, Bruce, come this way, bro. I know you've been looking for some work lately. It's been slow here at the museum. Don't you worry. Up the stairs, around the corner, into here, and into here. Now, Bruce, don't you hurt me. Just stay there. The Flyin Cafe. Oh, yeah. This is so cool, dude. I actually love the details in here. And one of the last things that I want to build for, like, the main part of this interior is a proper tree farm. Now, it's not going to be anything automatic. It's just going to be like very basic because I'm not very smart. But I also think that this room could just be the perfect size to grow in tall spruce trees. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Not everything you build in Minecraft has to be rocket science. For instance, this is literally just a big box inside that I can use to chop trees. Because that means that we are just left with this in the interior. Or are we now? Because all the way down here, I have a bunch of villagers, hi guys, and this big hole that I dug a long time ago that I have still done nothing with. Now, I've been thinking a lot about what to put down here, and ironically, you guys were thinking the same thing. But before I do that, I think it's time we finally get something to help out with all of this digging. I don't really know what to say right now. This is the first time in over like 4 months that I'm heading off to an old build site, which is kind of crazy, dude. It's been so long since I've been anywhere old in this world. I also completely forgot where my wither skeleton farm is, so I had to go back and watch the video from over a year ago to learn where the heck the coordinates are. I'm a pro, I swear. We already have 1 skull. Make that 2. And 3. Oh my god, that was so quick, dude. Okay, there's 12 skulls. Just in case I want to make a little bit more than 1 beacon, I can make 4 of them now, I think. I'll be honest, I'm really scared. I don't like doing this, but I'm just going to send it and hope that this works. Here we go. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Oh, that was really easy. So the end goal is to turn this underground area into a massive enchanted library. I don't know what that means, admittedly. I just know that it's going to be big, it's going to be cool, and it's probably going to take way longer than I think it will. And in order to maintain my sanity, I'm going to try my best to break this up into 3 unique segments. The first of which is to dig an extremely large hole. Come on in, guys. The water's fine. You'll like it in here. Yes, I am moving my villagers from this box to this box. And the entire base is going to be centered around a 9x9 hole at the very bottom here. So you walk in, you jump, you fall, you fly, and then boom, big base. But I need to do some more digging first before it's actually a big base. You know what I mean. The plan is to make the roof some sort of an asymmetrical dome, which might sound complicated. That's because it is. And to try and preserve at least some of my sanity along the way here, I'm going to outline it with dirt just so I can see what it looks like. I basically had to pull up 2 separate circle generators, and then for the one half, use the left circle, and then for the other half, use the right circle. And I've been working for an hour. We are this far along with shaping the roof. It looks good, but bad news is that my brain is mush. I'm going to bed. So it's currently 11 a.m. the next day, which I know doesn't really mean much to you, but I've been working on this since 7 a.m. And the crazy thing is you really can't even tell that I've done all that much because it wraps all the way around and then it kind of is getting cut off by the terrain. So before I even know if the size is good, I have to go through now and clear out all of this inside. So yeah, this is going to take a while. Also, before everyone's like, Brock, why aren't you collecting all the stone? Listen, I have mined 407,000 stone in this world. I think I'm okay. Thank you. And the best part is that once our pickaxe gets low, we just come up here to the villagers, give these guys some iron, and then bam, it's fixed up just like that. Now, before I keep digging out this massive area, which will take a very long time, I think it'd be really cool if we can actually fill in the ceiling because I don't want it to look like crap for the whole time that I'm building this. The materials that I'm going to need are weird. You've been warned. Now, you're going to have to just trust me when I say it's going to look good. Some of these are easy to get, and others are not so easy, like this first one. Deep slate redstone ore. Why do I do this to myself? A zombie spawner. I wish I cared about you. Goodbye. I swear when I don't need it, redstone is like everywhere in these caves, but I had to search pretty far and wide just to get enough of what I needed. I also set up a beacon in the nether to get more basalt, blackstone, and netherrack, some more deep slate down in the mines, half of which I chiseled, and the other half turned to bricks, then tossed in the super smelter. Next up came the acacia wood. Everybody say, thank you, new tree farm. Followed by a bunch of mangrove wood that won't fit in the new tree farm. Also, if I sound different, that's because it's 6 a.m. and I have to go make a turkey in 3 hours. So I'm imagining a gradient that starts from like the center, this little middle part, and then works its way out and down along the ceiling. That might not make much sense to you, but I hope it will soon. So the first thing we'll do is just start at this top layer, and we're going to go through and make all of this into sculk, which not only sounds menacing when you place it, but also looks pretty cool from down here. Next up is the layer of blackstone. Next up are these polished blackstone bricks, which I realize I can't reach the end, so this scaffolding's already got to go down. But I think it'd be really cool if we go through here and add a layer of shroom lights. And then go through with a layer of these mangrove trapdoors. I've never actually used these before, but they have this kind of cool texture to them. And honestly, I think they're gonna work pretty good over here. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so we started at blue, we've gone to the black, and now we're gonna start working in the gray, starting with this chiseled deep slate, which is a weird block, I know, but I think it'll work. Followed by the cracked deep slate bricks. After that, we go in with this polished basalt, which honestly I never get to use, but it's one of my favorite blocks in the game. Here's where the acacia logs come in, another block that I don't think I've ever used in Minecraft. So now I want to go ahead and bring some red tones into this, but going from red to gray, or gray to red, is a pretty extreme transition, but there's one block that makes it a lot simpler. See this stuff? Yeah, deep slate redstone ore. It's perfect because it is not only gray, it is also red, so it acts as the perfect buffer block. And while this does not look very good on its own, it does mean that we can start going through with our mangrove wood. Now we're going to go through with some netherrack, and then finally we will finish things off with this red nether wart block. Now I know it's a lot, it's very red as you get to the edges here, but you got to remember, we're going to only be looking at this from like way down below. This is the ceiling, you guys. Now before I get too carried away digging away the terrain and building up the rest of the library, I want to address this room because right now you walk in and then you're just here. And I feel like that's not really the vibe that I'm going for. Boom, boom, and it opens this way and it opens this way. Okay, the door is working. Now to make it look good. There we go. It's not the craziest thing I've ever built, but honestly, like, it gets the job done, and it doesn't look too bad. So now I want to go ahead and start digging out the floor, maybe like 10 or 20 or 30, maybe even 40 or 50 levels. In fact, while I'm doing this, let's play a game called How Many Times Does Brock's Pickaxe Almost Break? And there is one. Okay, well, we are, how many? We are 3 layers down. All right, there's the second pickaxe, almost broken, not gonna lie. I'm listening to Spotify, and I almost missed that one. All right, there's the third pickaxe, and we are like 10 levels down or so. There's the fourth pickaxe. There's the fifth pickaxe. There's the sixth pickaxe. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. It took me 4 hours just to dig this hole. So yeah, we're gonna split this one up into multiple parts. Also, it's Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna go eat a bunch of turkey and then fall asleep. Goodbye.